Welcome to the content creation module. This video is just a quick introduction to the module. We'll show you what's coming up, what the expected outcomes are, and what actions you need to take. So in this module, I'm going to show you how to research and write content yourself. And while a lot of people find that quite daunting, we actually have some really cool content templates which break down everything you need to do in an article into real manageable chunks. And so with the help of those, it makes it much easier to produce content yourself, even if you've never done that before. We'll also cover the Amazon Associates program and some of the finer details about what you need to do and what you should avoid doing with that program. It's just little things like how to link to Amazon, what not to do when using images, things like that. This is really important when you're creating commercial content, which is the stuff that makes money. So we just want to make sure we're not breaking any rules there. Next, we'll move on how to publish content to your site. So that's actually doing everything that you need to put the content live, doing all the on-page SEO, optimization, that kind of thing. And then finally, we'll look at how to outsource content. It's not mandatory, you can write all the content yourself, but if you do choose to outsource content to hire writers, then we'll show you step by step exactly how to do that and how to maintain quality at the same time. So by the end of this module, you'll have learned about the different types of content which we have from the templates. You'll also have written 10 articles yourself. Again, I'm going to show you how to do that, so don't panic if that scares you. You're going to have learned all the basic rules of the Amazon Associates program that you need to follow as an affiliate. You will publish content on your website, and after you've done those first 10 articles, you'll either go on to write 40 or so more, or you can choose if you want to outsource that content. So this whole module is arranged in more or less a linear fashion. The one exception I'd say are the 3 template lessons. That's lessons 3, 4, and 5. You don't have to go through all of the parts of those. Just make sure you watch the first video in each template lesson, check out the templates themselves, get a feel for it. There is some repetition in, for example, the writer guidelines within each of these 3 templates. It's produced in such a way so that if you want to sort of hand it off to someone else, or you want to come back to it in future, you have all the info about that specific template you need in each lesson. However, that does mean that there's some repetition across the 3 template lessons. So if you end up watching the same thing twice, feel free to skip ahead from the rest of that video, particularly with regard to the writer guidelines, as I said. Just make sure that when you watch the info content template, you definitely watch the last video there, because in there, I'm going to show you how to customize that template. And also there's an over-the-shoulder part where I actually go and research a full article. And it's the same article that I end up writing. Again, there's a full over-the-shoulder video of me doing that in the lesson 6. So at the end of lesson 5, make sure you do watch that final video there. The other thing I'd say is that different sites have different emphasis on roundup reviews and single product reviews. They're both examples of commercial content and you can use them sort of interchangeably, so don't worry too much about that if your site has more of one and less of the other. Now I want to talk about why content is really so important. It is, in my opinion, the main differentiator of quality of a website. And what makes this particularly interesting is it's actually very hard to measure content quality. There are no metrics such as you have the Ahrefs domain rating, which can, rank a domain, or the strength of a link per se. You can't do that with content quality. So it can be very difficult to know if you're going off track or if you're hitting the right level of quality. So I'd really urge you to put extra effort into this module and make sure you pay close attention so that you are hitting a high standard when it comes to content quality. Remember, everything else you do around your site basically is to support content, right? We're doing our keyword research to find keywords so that we can write content about it. We're creating a good looking site so that our content reads well. We need good content so that we can get links, and we need good content so that we can rank and make money. Content really is this sort of binding force that holds all elements of our website together. And I know a lot of people freak out when they understand that they have to actually start writing content themselves. If you've never done that before, or if it's been back at school since the last time you had to write anything, then it can be a little bit intimidating. Especially if I say to you, okay, in this module we're going to write 50 articles. Just remember that this is a learning process. So your first article that you write is going to be very different to the 50th article you write. And you can use this whole process as a learning process for yourself. Even now, when Gail and I write content for Authority Hacker, we're always learning. We're always using that as an opportunity to learn. We don't go away and study writing. We just do it in a day-to-day in our job. And that helps us to improve, to continually improve. We're always looking to better ourselves in that sense. I do understand, though, that if you've never done it before, you'll probably have a lot of questions like, where do I start? What do I do first? That kind of thing. Well, the templates which we've created in this module will cover you there. So we've outlined step by step all of the sections you should include in each type of article. We've broken it down as best as we can. So all you really have to do is kind of fill in the blanks with those. And there are over-the-shoulder videos of me researching content and also writing a full long article. And I talk over it in every step of the way. Every micro action that I'm taking is documented. So you can really pick up a lot from that. And I think once you go through that, you'll probably find it's much easier than you think. And yeah, the final thing I'd just like to say there's no such thing as perfect content. You're always trying to improve. Seek progress, not perfection. The important thing is just to get started. So in this module, we don't really use too many tools. The only two we're really using is Google Docs or Microsoft Word. I use them interchangeably. You can use either. Google Docs is more than satisfactory for anything you need to do. You don't need the advanced features of Microsoft Word, so don't worry. It's just personal preference which one you want to use there. You will have a choice towards the end of the module to outsource content. As I said in the budgeting lesson, that is quite an expensive thing to undertake, and you don't have to do it. If you have more time and less budget available, then I would recommend you just write the content yourself. That being said, if you do have a bit of budget for this, then I show you exactly where to go to outsource your content. There's a couple different options there, and which one you choose really depends on your budget, what you're looking for, and how long you kind of have to invest your own time in editing and things like that. So as I said, in this module, we're trying to produce 50 articles, but don't think of that as the end result. Think of that as the milestone. That's what you're really aiming for. But content creation is a continuous process. So after you have those 50 articles, you should keep going. It's an ongoing process, which every authority site does on a continuous basis. We're always producing more and more and more content. One thing I would say though is after you have your first 10 articles live, then you can move on to the link building module, which is the one after this. Don't wait until you have 50 articles before you start that, because link building is also a continuous process that you're going to need to do basically from now until the end of time, or until you sell your website. So without further ado, let's get started. Go ahead and watch the Intro to Content Templates lesson, which is the one after this.